And it's good news if you are a Joel Berry fan or the North Carolina Tar Heels. He is withdrawing his name from the NBA draft, and the tournament MOP, the Final Four MOP, Joel Berry, is going to return to Chapel Hill for his senior season. Is this a good move? It's the good move for the school, obviously, but for Berry, do you like this move individually as he hopes to take his talents to the next level eventually?
You know, normally I would say because your star is so high right now, right? You're the most outstanding player. Your team just won a national championship. You'd think you'd be at the crest right now of your value. Problem is, this draft, the first 10 picks are done.
Yeah, you're not getting in there.
So where do you fall? And if you're not a guaranteed first-round pick, I think it's better off he goes back to school. So I think this is actually a great move for Joel Berry. Go back to school. Go into the draft next year, improve your stock. North Carolina's still going to be loaded down low, and I absolutely love this kid. He is tough as nails. Tyler, he was not healthy in that tournament. He was banged up. He fought through it. He was the difference maker against Gonzaga. I can only imagine him at full strength.
Sure.
What do I see him as a pro? I think he can have a long career as more than likely a backup point guard.
Okay.
I think that's going to end up being his role. He's undersized at 6 foot tall, but he's an excellent shooter, almost 40% from three, almost 3 makes a game. But because he's such an extension of Roy Williams on the floor, he will get drafted. But he goes out and averages 20 points a game this year. He could leap himself into the first round.
I don't want to paint this picture just yet, but with Norman Powell being a 4-year guy at UCLA, Malcolm Brogdon being a 4-year guy at Virginia, and what they've done recently here in the postseason is maybe that stigma that if you've stayed 3 or 4 years in college, that's a bad thing. Is that maybe lessening in the NBA?
Potentially, I think that's a good point. You also got to know who you are.
Sure.
Right? If you're like 6'11" and just like dripping with athleticism and you can like jump in the hoop, yeah, of course, you're going to be a first-round pick.
Okay.
But when you're 6 foot and not that explosive like Joel Berry the third or second, whatever number he is, he's able to make guys better, but he plays with a lot of moxie.
Yep.
That's what I like about him. He is tough as nails. I think he could be very similar to what Trey Burke is at the pro level. You know, Trey tried to start, struggled from the field, was shot under 40% throughout the field, but now he's found his niche as a backup. Like Joel Berry could be that. More importantly, go back to North Carolina, have a great year, raise your stock. He can get into the first round next year.
Coming up later here on The Rally, we will ask if Joel Berry's return to Chapel Hill makes them the overwhelming favorite again to win the national championship. That's a little bit later. Use the hashtag The Rally to join the conversation.